So what is next? Well, today we got another episode of DBS Stock. Today, trade map bait prices, and today we're going to be looking at some of the top decks and what it costs to play them. Just the main pieces of the deck. Like right now, we're going to be looking at the Brawly Ultimate Agent of Destruction. If you wanted to play the full-fledged Brawly BR deck that's been topping in tournaments, you're going to have to shell out at least $296 to put that inside your deck to try to grab this card or buy a bunch of boxes right now, which are kind of limited. It seems like a lot of shops don't seem to be carrying it at the moment, which is kind of funny. But if you didn't know what the card does, it has an auto. When one of your green battle cards with the injury cost of 7 or more is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO to activate this skill, you may choose all cards other than this card from your hand and place them in your drop area. And if you do, play this card from your hand. So with that being said, you at least have to have 2 cards in your hand, so this card plus another card, to be able to use this his auto. Then he has another auto. When this card attacks, if your life is at one, your opponent chooses all cards in their hand and places them in the drop area, which is really good, considering that this also has dual attack and double strike. So you're at least attacking them one time, they might negate it, they're dropping all cards in their hand. And then you attack them one more time, they have 0 cards in their hand, or attack them with something else, put 1 more card in their hand, and then attack them again, and then they're taking 2 damage for sure, unless they move food with you, which they're still dropping all their entire hand. So there's a reason why this card is $295, $296, because it's a secret rare, it's ultimate, so you can only have 1 in your deck, and it's really hard to pull. So go into more of the Brawly chain and the key Brawly cards. You need Brawly Limits Transcended. You need about 4 of these, I believe people play, and they're going to run you about $13. So that's going to be easy $52 if we're trying to pick them up through TCG Player. This card is really good though. It really is the finisher of the deck, and it's how you get and by removing this guy, it's how you get the secret rare out. So it has double strike, a permanent during battle with this card. It's attacking, your opponent can't activate counter skills with energy cost of 2 or more. So that means no Mafuba specifically. That's what it's focusing on. There's other counters out there that are 2 or more, but specifically is Mafuba. And then it has activate battle, so you can do this on your opponent's turn. Once per turn, choose 1 card in your hand and place it in a drop area, and choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignore and bury it, and KO it. So it gets through everything. It can KO anything regardless of barrier, except for like certain cards that says permanent, you can't remove this card, like indestructible and things like that. Going into more cards that you need at least 4 of these ones as well. They're gonna run you $2.50, so it's gonna be about $10 to get a playset of these guys. It has double strike and also has a permanent as well, the same ones as the 8-drop. During battle with where this card is attacking, your opponent can't activate counter skills with an energy cost of 2 or more. Then it has activate battle. Once per turn, choose 1 card from your hand and place it in your drop area. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So this one KOs everything except for barrier cards. Then its auto is when this card is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, you may choose 2 cards from your hand and place it in the drop area. And if you do, choose 1 green Brawly BR card with the energy cost of 8 from your hand and play it. So that's how you get the 8 drop out with ease. So you need 4 of these guys. So like I said, it's gonna run you $10. What it looks like, yep, it's gonna run you about $10 to get a place out of those ones. And then the most expensive card in the deck, besides the secret rare, because the only way to get this guy is to buy boxes of the of the Destruction Kings. So this guy is Paragus the Sacrifice. It's not the most, I guess it's not the most played card in the deck, but it does help because it's a 1-drop. I think I figure out people play the 2-drop a lot more. That's gonna run you $19.25. There's a couple just $30, so they're running pretty high. There's no one has a playset, so if you want to get a playset, you got to get through this guy. Yeah, he's charging $24 for it, which is still pretty high. But I understand you can only get this through the buying a box, and you only get 1 pack, and then it only comes with 1 card in it. So I understand, but it has activate made. Once per turn, choose 1 green card from your battle area other than this card and place it in your drop area. Then you draw 1 card. So it gets your effects off, and then you get to draw 1. So that's why this card is pretty good. It's only a 1 cost. And then you can just combo it off if you want to, or pop it with the Brawly's effect. Leave your skills. But it's going to run you $19.25 at least to get 2 of them. So $40 for this guy. And then if you want to pick up another 2, like from this guy right here, that's another $40 as well. So it's gonna run you $80 to get a playset of loads. But you could definitely run the deck without a playset of these, but if you didn't want to. And then Defending Father Paragus, which this card comes from the structure deck. So you get one foil, one common, but even for a common one, for a lightly played common, it's $8.90. For a near mint one, it looks like it's gonna be the same thing, $9 just about. But yeah, you can get plates of these, but the structure deck is so hard to find right now. The structure deck is only like $12. Sometimes it's, other places it might be $15. But right now, it looks like the structure deck is going for like $25 I've seen online, which I think is kind of insane when the market value is half that. But just to get these cards, like that's what you have to do. So this card is worth basically 80% of the structure deck. So that's insane. But I mean, it is what it is. So it's a super combo, and you can play it as any green leader deck. So when you combo with this card, if your leader card is green and your life is at 4 or less, draw 2 cards and choose 1 card from your hand and send it to the warp. So that's why it's really good, because it helps aggro green decks. Okay, get into the last brawly card that you'll need. That's a rare or super rare. That's not common basically, or a promotion card. You have Paragus Rampage Trigger, and this card is a 2-drop here. And then auto, when you play this card from your hand, choose up to 1 brawly control mechanism from your deck and activate it. Then shuffle your deck. So that's why it's so good, because it gives you a 2 removal basically. It gives you that brawly control mechanism, and then it also includes its self effect, which is activate main is choose this card in one card in your battle area. This also can include field cards as well, if you didn't know, or Mafuba if you ever get Mafuba, because it's any card in your battle area, and Mafuba is in your battle area as a card. Just the card underneath is not treated as a battle card. It's a little different. And place them in the owner's drop area. Choose one. You either can choose up to 1 brawly BR card with the entry cost of 6 or less from your deck and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you can get any brawly card. If you need the 4-drop, grab the 4-drop. If you need the 6-drop, grab the 6-drop. You can also grab well, yeah, those are only 2 you can pretty much grab. Or you can choose up to 1 brawly BR card from your drop area and add it to your hand. So if you already have the 4-drop and the 6-drop in your hand, go ahead and grab that 8-drop that's in your drop area, and then add it to your hand. This does not grab the secret rare, because the secret rare is just an original OG brawly. It's not a brawly BR, so just throw it out there. But once you use this guy's effect, if you use it on our skill, if you use it with a brawly card, you get the brawly's effect, and then you bring out the, like, say if you use it on the 1-drop brawly, you can take a life or take 2 lives if you want, and then bring out the 4-drop brawly, and then you can use brawly control mechanism to pop that brawly BR card to bring out the 6-drop. And if you have if your opponent has a battle card on their side, just use your leader skill to pop your brawly and then pop their battle card, and you bring up to 8-drop. So that's an 8-drop on turn 2. So that's why the deck is this card is really good, and the deck is so useful. You can do the same thing with the other Paragus that we were just looking at, but you need to have brawly control mechanism in your hand to basically to get that effect off. So moving on to the Gogeta build. So if you want to play Gogeta, you need to at least have 4 of these Gogeta Fusion Onslaughts. So it's going to be around $20 for these guys to get a playset for these. At least through him. It's only $6 if you want to go through this guy. And then it's going to be about $24, $25 to go through him. But yeah, this card is really good because it's the final evolution of the final evolution of the Gogeta deck, and it kind of gives you game in a sense, because it has X Evolve. Choose two red cards from your hand and place them in the drop area over a red Gogeta BR card with an energy cost of 6. So there's only 1 red Gogeta BR card. Then it has Double Strike, and then it has Permanent as well. This card can't be KO'd and can attack battle cards that are in active mode. So that's really good. So it gets over blockers, it gets over barrier cards, it gets over everything. Except for indestructible, of course. And then auto is when a card evolves into this card if there are no battle cards in play. If there's no battle cards in play in your opponent's battle area, choose up to 2 of your cards in your opponent's life and place them in the drop area. And you can't play SSB Gogeta Fusion Onslaught for the duration of the turn. So you can have multiple of these guys on the field or in the battle area, but you don't get to play 1 per turn. So that's pretty good. So it gives them -2 crit to their life, which is really good. At the same time, it's a 35k beater, so which you get out by just placing 2 cards to the drop area. And then it has an auto when this card attacks a battle card, switch this card to active mode. So that's also really good. So it clears your entire opponent's battle area for sure. There's no way to get around that. You don't negate this guy's attack unless you have Mafuba, if they're not running Gogeta Red, which most of the time they probably would be. But if they haven't used that Gogeta Activate Battle with the leader's auto or activate battle skill, it's like then you can definitely Mafuba this guy, but I wouldn't try to negate it with any other counter besides that unless you need energy or something like that, because he's getting over all your cards that are under 35k with ease. So if you have the Vegeta on the field or something like that, you're taking that Vegeta's going down. Like, don't even try to protect it, because the card, it doesn't have like dual attack or triple attack or whatever. It has, when this card attacks, switches to active mode, so there's no way to get around it. You can't pop it with Shigash or anything like that, because as soon as it attacks, it goes immediately into pending, and if you say no negate or negate or whatever, it goes straight into active mode. Now, the only thing I believe you can do is like time magic it, because it goes into rest mode and you can time magic it and then it stomps it down. I'm not too I think it doesn't allow it to enter pending to go into active battle, to active mode again, because it's already pinned down and now it can no longer get around that effect. So that'd be really good to use that time magic on it. But going into the more Gogeta pieces, you have Gogeta Unparalleled Fusion, which is only $2, which is really good. So it's going to be $8 to get a playset with these guys, which it looks like it holds towards everything. Yep, just about $8 to $10. So this card is really good because it also has Double Strike and it's using Fusion for 4 red energy, so you can use it on turn 4. Draw 2 cards. That's really good, and you just need a red Sun Goku BR card and a red Vegeta BR card. Doesn't say, I'm assuming with the same power level. It doesn't say right here, but when it's using Fusion, they have to be the same power level. So just remember that. But most of the red Gogeta BR cards are all 10,000 power, just to make sure they all work. Yeah, as a permanent, you can't play this card from any area unless your leader card. It's a Saiyan card and it's red and no other color. So like we were just talking about in the last video about the multicolor cards, this basically says you cannot play it with a multicolor leader. It has to be red and it has to be a Saiyan. So right now I think we only have like 3 red Saiyan leaders, which is like Pan, Vegeta, and Gogeta, and I believe that's it for the Saiyan leaders. I might be wrong in there. That are red, but then following more of the effect, this card can't be KO'd and can attack battle cards that are in active mode as well. And then it has an auto once per turn. When this card attacks, a battle card switches to active mode. So it's the same auto as the 8-drop, but it can only do it once per turn. So. But the good thing about this deck is, like, as soon as you play it, you draw 2 cards, and then you can drop those 2 cards to play the 8-drop if there are red cards, which is really good. And like I said, and I don't believe it has to be, let me go back real quick. It doesn't have to be battle cards either. So 2 red cards. Yeah, it can be extra cards as well. So that's kind of cool. Then going to the Frieza deck, Golden Frieza and Domino Emperor is only $1.50 for the SR version, which is really good. So you can get a playset just for $6 if you want to play this deck. I haven't tried to play the deck yet, but I'm working with some, I'm thinking about some like interchangeable energies, maybe using some of those red-yellow cards, or those red-green cards or something. Just kind of change it up. That are going to come out in an expansion set. Just kind of playing around some things. Maybe throw some yellow in there since it is a Frieza's Army card. I don't know. Just kind of give it some more options other than just running straightforward red and stalling. But this card is really good as well because it has X Evolve. Choose 3 cards from your hand and place them in the drop area. 3 any cards, which is really good. So that's why I was going to use some more colors. But you place it on a red Frieza BR card with an energy cost of 7. It also has critical and then a permanent. If your leader card is a red Frieza's Army card, which we do have 2 red Frieza's Army cards. That's the, because I was definitely playing this deck, or I was trying to work this deck with a different leader, the other from Clash of Fates, just because I like that one better because you can use super combos and you can use 2 drops, but it's kind of hard to stall with that deck because you can't get the extra cards that you need sometimes, and you tap out when you don't want to tap out. But still working on it. So, but if your leader card is a red Frieza's Army card and card, you and your opponent can't play battle cards with 30,000 power or less unless they choose 4 cards from their life and place them in the drop area as they play the battle card. So that is an additional cost. So you can't, there's no way to get around that. There's no way to like, oh, I only have 2 cards in my hand, so then I don't have to like take, or 2 life left, I don't have to drop 2 2 life to play it, but it's like you have to have 4 life. You have to put 4 life into your dropper to play this card. So there's no way to get around that. And then it has auto when the card evolves into this card, switches card to active mode. So that's really good. So you can attack with the 2 drop, or the 7 drop we're about to show you real quick, and then you can play this card and put it into active mode, so you can just stall out, because that's typically what the deck does. Okay, so we have Frieza the Finisher. This card we were just talking about. So this is how you clear out the whole field. It's going to be 40 cents to get this card, so just under $2 to grab it. For TCG player, you're going to have to spend 20 cents. Excuse me, to get the shipping, or to get it shipped, because you need to spend a minimum $2. But it does have double strike. It has a permanent as well. If there are 5 or more extra cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost for this card in your hand by 1. And if there are 10 or more cards, 10 or more red cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by additional 1. So a lot of people don't really know this. This only costs 2 red energies to play this card. So if you have, I don't know, like different color energies, you just need 2 reds to be able to drop this. That's why I was using like yellow and multicolored cards to kind of like boost this deck up. So anyways, so it has auto when you play this card. If your leader card's a red Frieza's armory card, choose all battle cards with 25,000 power or less other than this card, ignore and bury and KO. So this is every card, including cards in your battle area. Ignore and bury and KO on them, so it gets over Vegeto's, Deadly Defenders, things like that. It doesn't get over anything that's 30k and above, so it's kind of unfortunate, but it's really good too. Put on to the next deck. Okay, we have the Son Goku deck. Real quick, so for this card you need 4 of these for sure, so it's going to cost you about $48, $50 to get this guy. This guy's really good. He's a 1-drop black card, and then you have to activate main once per turn. Choose up to 1 4-star ball from your deck or drop area and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck if you look through it. So from your drop area, it makes it a recyclable card, which is really good. And if you put power burst with this guy, then you can always get him from the warp if someone tries to warp it out, or you can get it from the drop area, because power burst lets you get one drop black card from your drop area or warp and add it to your hand. A lot of people forget about that warp side of the card as well. Then I have to activate main once per turn. For 2 any energy, if your leader card is black, choose up to 1 skillless black, 1 skillless battle card with the energy cost of 3 or less from your deck or drop area and play it, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. That card is really good, but you need 4 of these for sure, so $50 for that. And then 4-star balls with about $5 as well. It has an activate battle with the 0 cost for energy, and it's treated as a Dragon Ball, which is really good. So you can have 70s in your deck if you want. Choose up to 1. Actually, yeah. So you can have 70. It still has the Dragon Ball keyword skill, so you can have 70s in your deck if you want. So just choose up to 1 of your battle cards or leader cards. It gets 5,000 power for a duration of the battle, and if it's skillless battle card, it gets an additional 5,000 power for a duration of the battle as well. So it's essentially a super combo without the draw for a skillless battle card, which is really good. And then going into the Agent of Destruction decks, we have Arcane Absorption Majin Buu, which is going for $195 right here. Let's see if there's any more sellers. Yeah, just about $200. This guy's selling for $500 used to. So that's really good. It was showcased in a tournament recently, and it did really well, I believe. I think number 3 in the entire tournament, which was really good. It's a secret rare. If you guys haven't seen this, I talked about this guy a lot. As a triple strike, it's ultimate, so you can only have 1. Really hard to pull in that Destruction Kings as well. As an activate main for the cost of 6 energy, which most people never do, but it's still an option. Choose 1 evil wizard Bobbity card in your drop area or warp and play the chosen card. Then play this card from your hand on top of the card that you play with the skill. So that's really good. So one thing I wanted to find out is, like, if you play the card, like, can it be like not cold blooded, but can it be like Crusher Ball, or like, yeah, cold blooded, or I don't know, since if it's a 4 or less drop, can it be preemptive strike? You know what I'm saying? In a sense, because you do have to play a card. And the second question is, do you get it's a skilled effect if it's getting played, or do you just miss timing altogether? You know, but that's something I would like to ask, just because it's still being played. So like, as soon as you play it, like say if I played, like I said, if I played like anything, do I get the skill for it? So I don't know, but anyways, you play on top of this card, and then auto when you play this card, if there's an evil wizard property underneath this card, choose up to 5 agent of destruction cards from your drop area or warp and play them. So we're going to get into our agent of destruction cards that you can play with this deck and how much it will cost. So you just need 1 of those guys. But if you want to play Janemba or a place of these guys is going to run you $7 a piece, depending on how many you want to play. It has critical, as well as auto activate this skill when you play this card from your hand or warp, not from your deck, unfortunately. But at the end, most cards don't play from your deck. So at the end of the turn, if it is your turn, choose up to one of your energy and switch it to active mode. So it has to be your turn. So I'm not too sure how you can play this. Oh, unless your opponent has like World Peace or something like that. World Peace Desire card. Not World Peace Desire card, but that 5-cost Desire card that lets you special summon things or whatever in your turn. Like, unless there's cards like that, it does have the restriction. It does have to be your turn. Just keep that in mind. And then it has an activate main. Send this card to your warp. Draw 1 card. Then your opponent places 3 cards from the top of your deck to the drop area. So that's really good there. So it's going to run you $7 a piece if you want these guys. Lord Slug, Agent of Destruction. If you want to run the Lord Slug deck as well, it's going to run you about a place of these guys. So typically people run, I think, 2 to 4 of these, depending on what build you like to play. I think I like to do 3. So about $15. A place that's going to be 20. When you play this card, your opponent chooses 1 card from your hand and places it in the drop area. So it's really good for that Agent of Destruction, because they do have the when you get the Arcane Absorption Majin Buu, they have to drop 1 as well, and they're going to be taking some hits. It has activate main. Choose up to 1 Slug's Army card from your hand with the original energy cost of 3 or less, other than Lord Slug Agent of Destruction, and play it. So that's really good too. So, but that only skill really works in a Slug deck. But you can have Slug cards in your hand. So, then we have Bojack the Plunderer. This is mainly for the Bojack deck, because you need about 4 of these guys too. It's going to be about $9 for this guy. This guy is really good as a finisher, but you do need a turn 4, 3 yellow energy, 1 energy over a Bojack with energy cost of 3. So that's really good. So like the one you're looking at with the multicolor one from the other day, the expansion set, this one works with him. Auto is when you play this guy, if you have 5 or more life, choose all your opponent's cards and switch from the rest mode. This includes leader, energy, and battle cards, so that's also really good. Then he has another auto when your opponent switches one of the cards into rest mode to active mode. If your leader card is a Bojack Brigade card, your opponent chooses 1 card in your hand and sends it to the warp. So this includes every card they switch to active mode, including into their charge phase. So if they switch 5 cards, 6 cards into active mode, like just to untap for the charge phase, they have to send 6 cards to the warp. Now I believe how it goes now, you don't draw first, you send the cards, or you untap first, then this guy's auto goes off, then you draw for your turn, then you charge. So activate main. Once per turn, choose 1 Bojack Brigade card in your battle area and place it in your zone to drop. This card gains dual attack for the duration of the turn, which is actually really good. Okay. So moving on more to the Agent of Destruction cards. We have Bojack Agent of Destruction, so you can evolve it over this guy as well. It's an auto when you play this card. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore Baron, switches to rest mode, and he also has to activate main for a cost of 2 energy. If this card is in rest mode, choose your opponent's leader card, switch it to rest mode, and can be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's turn. So this card has to be in rest mode to use this effect, but it's going to be about $5 for this guy, so a place that would cost you about 20. In a Bojack deck, I think I run 3 of these guys. Really easy to get out though. And then finally, we have 2 more. After this, we have Vegeta, Agent of Destruction. This guy's really good. I really like him because you can KO anything. His auto is when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 25,000 power or less and KO it. So it's a 25,000 power or less, but that's pretty much everything except for like a lot of the brawly cards actually. But activate main once per turn. For the cost of 1 blue energy and 1 any energy, your leader card is red, so it does have to be a red leader. This card gets 10,000 power, double strike, and dual attack. That's the most I've seen a card get. It's a pretty crazy card, but you can't run it into an all red deck. I'm on a red deck, you have to run some blue, so charge that Xeno if you need it, but it gets that for duration with the turn. So that's really good. And then lastly, we have Android 13, Agent of Destruction. It's a critical. As well as activate main, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in your hand and place it in a drop area. This card is only $1.60, so get a place out of these guys. It's gonna run you about, I don't know, $6.50, just about $7. So that's really good too. So that's pretty much all the rundown of if you want to play all the newer decks out there. Like I said, I didn't showcase like the Super Senran cards because they're really cheap to get. To be honest, like the Bomas are kind of harder to get, but you can get like the Dependable Gokus through a structure deck, and then I guess you can get the SR Bardock. I can look up real quick what the Bardock is, how much that would be, to be honest, because that's because you can run that build or you can run the blue build if you want, but Bardock it's going to be around $9-10 just about to pick you guys up. This is probably the cheapest I've ever seen it. It used to be a $30 card, but you can play this guy in that. And then all the Kid Goku cards, there's nothing really in there, just a 4-star card, a 4-star ball, and SR. It's the only one. The Son Goku Adventure Awaits is the only one that's expensive in that deck, I believe, other than Demigra, which I think Demigra actually went up in price. If I recall, to be honest. Oh, that's not the one. Give me a second. Yeah, I believe Demigra went up in price as well for the Secret Rare, which it's really it's really good. Like, it's a really good card. It's always been a great card. So it's $104. I remember when it was $30 for a second. So you can put that in any deck really that runs more than 7 black cards. Other than that, you have, like I said, you have Brawly. That's a really good deck. You have the Gogeta deck. Even the Frieza deck. I've showed you guys all those cards that you guys will need to get a playset of those guys to play it. So if you guys want to see some other kind of decks or anything like that, I do plan on making some other videos about just price efficiency to which deck to play as well, because I do want to keep playing this game and kind of keep creating better decks, not just like the meta decks and things like that, but I am creating a lot of spice that's going to be coming going forward. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading a lot more daily content, a lot better quality content as well. I at least try to. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys believe or want to comment on the video about something, you guys want to comment on what you want to see next, go ahead and comment down below. And if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for everything, and I hope to see you guys next time.